What's the most intimidating tool when it comes to working on vehicles? Yeah, you guessed it, the DVOM, Digital Volt Ohm Meter. Welcome to this AMSOIL Tech Tip. Yeah, we're talking about the DVOM and specifically volts, ohms, and amps. And I can make it real simple. We're dealing with DC volts right here. We're going to deal with the omega sign, which is resistance, and the last one is amperage. How do we do it? Well, parallel connections is voltage. We can go across the device. If we're doing ohms, we don't want any power supply on the device. We just want to measure the ohmic value of the device. And then over here, we're going to go in series. We're going to let the amps run through the meter and read amps. I can show you all three of them in action here. The first one I'm going to measure is going to be volts. Now I got two choices. I'm going to set the meter up just where I showed you to the volts. I can go just across the battery there. That's a voltage reading, looking at about 11 volts or so. And then I can measure at a point. That's voltage at a point right there. So I can see if voltage is traveling through the circuit. Pressure, electromotive force. Then we're going to switch over to ohms of resistance. I said there doesn't need to be a power supply, so I have a component right in my hand. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to measure the ohms in that component. It's a wire of windings. It has a spec, 11.8. The light bulb has a little resistor inside of there, an element that burns. That's 1.6 ohms of resistance. If it was OL, it means it's open. Then you want to shunt the meter. You move it over to amps so that you can run through the meter, and now the meter is protected. But in order to do amps, you have to open the circuit. So my light bulb's burning, bam, I open up the circuit. Once I open up the circuit, I'm going to use the meter to complete the circuit. It's almost like patching the hole. Now the amps are running through the meter, the light bulb's burning, and there you go, there's the amp reading. So volts, amps, and resistance. Len, if you fool around with electrical and you don't get it right, it could be catastrophic. Our car could burn down. I mean, you have to protect the circuit. Engine though, I got one smoking over there. Could be multiple problems.
Yeah, definitely. And usually what you want to do in those situations is figure out what it is real quick. You know, if it's antifreeze, that's not good, but it's not as dangerous. If it's oil, you have to figure out where it's coming from. A lot of times a quick look underneath can kind of diagnose what's going on there. If you've got a leaky valve cover, a leaky rear main, you know, what could be going on there. At the end of the day, you need to get it diagnosed and get it fixed.
How can AMSOIL help me prevent those leaks?
Well, there's a couple things. All of our formulary, including the high-end synthetics, have seal conditioners built in, so they'll help with the seals to maintain them. But our high mileage oil actually has the seal conditioners boosted to help go in on a vehicle that may have some miles on it to soften up those seals, get them to reseal, and save you some money.
Well, don't fool around and let your car end up like one of these. Just like Len said, once you go ahead and fix the leak, you can go ahead and refill it, whether it's a differential, transmission, engine, it doesn't matter. All the fluids you need for your vehicle can be found at amsoil.com.